to leave. And Miriam Turk will occupy this position as Executive Director of NEFISH alongside me and help us move forward and grow and succeed all together. So, I invite Miriam to come up and address all of you.
To Miriam, we love and value all you do for all of us.
Wow, that was really something, and I'll be honest, surprised. Just before I forget, I'd like to thank Hamodia as well. Please fly Hamodia this week. It's not a pitch, it's just that they've had a special person here covering our conference for 2 days, and we hope to have a fabulous write-up in Hamodia this week, so please get a copy and review it on here and enjoy the reviewing of your experience here. We're definitely Cohen, Greenwald. Thank you, as you were three of the number of people who had a lot to do here today. So I thank the three of you. You'll hear about the others later. Welcome. NEFISH International is incredibly happy to welcome you from New York, New Jersey, Texas, Maryland, Arizona, California, Florida, Delaware, Wisconsin, Colorado, Ohio. You came from Eretz Yisrael. You come from England, Canada, South Africa, Brazil, Pennsylvania, Nevada, Atlanta, Chicago, Argentina. And Baruch Hashem is a very, very impressive list. With that said, what I would also like to do is welcome all of Dr. Nosson Solomon's best friends. For those of you who are not familiar with the listserv, listen closely and you'll begin to understand part of what keeps us also very closely connected. On January 2nd of this year, Dr. Solomon posted the following. I have yet to miss a single NEFISH conference since the conferences began in 1995. Why do I go to the conference, Nosson asks? I attend mainly for the networking. It is unparalleled. Where else can you find 350 of your best friends in one place at one time? Nosson proceeds and he says to us, why do you go to the NEFISH conference? And boy, oh boy, did the listserv ever respond from all over the world. When you posted that comment on the listserv many weeks ago, no one could have possibly imagined what was going to happen. The overwhelming feeling of gratitude and sincere happiness of being part of NEFISH International, the comments about creating special relationships, and the details of feelings regarding NEFISH International came from far and wide and very close and across the country and across the world. It was an incredible thing to watch on the screen as it evolved in front of us from wherever we were in different parts of the world as we became closer and closer and closer. Abraham Leifler wrote that he found his current job from a connection that he made at last year's NEFISH convention, and that's the job where he's working now. Dr. Chaim Newhoff, raise your hand because you wanted to be one of Nosson Solomon's best friends. He just wanted to know if he had to fill out another application or if by just registering for the conference that made him one of Nosson's best friends. Dr. Hindi Klein, we all know that you just want to know how far up on Nosson's best friend list you are. People like Malki Sheikh, a teacher from Dallas, Texas, and Rabbi Ruben Bonchik, a rabbi at the Hill House at Brooklyn College. Both attended their first Nefesh conference as non-mental health professionals. But it was that conference that sealed the deal. They went back to school and became social workers. Connie Gerstel from Lakewood had not even been to a Nefesh conference yet, and she was inspired to come to Nefesh because of what she saw in Lister, and she's here today. Dr. Yocheved Berlowitz, like our special psychiatrist from Yerushalayim, who talked about and always talks about the spiritual nature and physics that she gets from Nefesh conferences, but also the practical reality of needing to come to America to network as our kids go overseas, and it's vital, very, very vital, that we have international referral sources. Yitzi Horowitz gave a shout out in Lister to share his experiences, and Yitzi, thanks for stepping up and leading that challenging group last night. Let's not forget, even though he's not here, but let's also not forget Dr. Norman Blumenthal. He was so upset. Norman was so upset. Y'all remember how upset he was? Why was he upset? Because all these years, he thought he was Nessun Sullivan's best friend. Nessun, it's not 350 of your best friends who showed up here at the conference this year, but there were over 400 people here yesterday, and there are another 100 new faces today. Okay, enough of Dr. Sullivan's social life. We're going to leave the rest of it up to Yada, and Yada, good luck. Anyway, we get it. Nefesh International offers what absolutely no other organization offers. But we are like any other family. Sometimes we agree, and sometimes we disagree. And sometimes our pathology plays out in the listserv a little bit, and we argue a little bit too intensely, right? But you know what? Baruch Hashem, for the most part, it's a civil conversation. To moderate or not to moderate the listserv, there is no simple, this is not a simple question, even a more difficult answer. There's no simple answer. But we thank Rabbi Simcha Foreman for leading the way in very artfully posting decisions made by the board that we feel, that we've had great discussions about and we feel are responsible in nature. Moderate or not, professional or not, these are just some of the issues that keep this board on their toes. There's no doubt that you'd be shocked to know that the executive board, consisting of Simcha, Connie Khan, Lisa, Chaim, Dr. Karen Feinberg, myself, and Alice, we communicate with one another on a daily basis and with a weekly phone conference, hoping to make good decisions that best service you, our membership. It is because they agreed to do what they would do for Nefesh that I agreed to do what I'm going to try to do for Nefesh. Our newer board members and some of our old ones, everyone is bringing tremendously new and exciting ideas. So I just want to make sure you all know who the board members are. Some I've mentioned, and Dennis Solomon, Muhammad Plattman, Rifki Young-Rice, Abba Cohen, Dr. Pam Siller, Phyllis Mayer, Dr. David Kalkovitz, Dr. A. Warren Klein, Dr. Mordechai Buck, Goldie Drossowitz. We are grateful to these people. I'm personally grateful, and I'd like you to try and meet them and share with them some of your advice you may have. Maybe plan to mention you later. You know, I mentioned you once already. You wanted to be twice, and you're later on. Come on. Rabbi Greenwald, take care of the dance crisis. She's a little out of control. She's just a little out of control. Anyway, we are very, very, very happy to volunteer. We are volunteers, and we're happy to do so. You make it especially easy when posting things as you did in January regarding what you feel Nefesh offers you as clinicians, and more importantly, as supportive Jews. So where do we want to go with all this? It's a team effort that got us this far, and that's what it will have to be, and will be, to get us to the next stage. We've had 135 people join Nefesh in the past year, and I'm hoping for another 135 before next year's conference. Being originally from out of town myself, I'm keenly aware that a lot of Nefesh attention is on the New York area. It is what it is. But since we are an international organization, we have to work harder and much harder to offer support and programs to others. While we don't have a budget for this, we still must figure out a way to make this happen. So I'm hoping and I am proposing that before the next annual conference, we have a Catholic conference in Los Angeles focusing on the West Coast Orthodox professionals. Rabbi Dr. David and Debbie Fox, we don't even know yet, but you volunteer for that conference. Thank you very much. And in addition to that, a half-day conference in Chicago focusing on those of our brethren in the Midwest. Atlanta, if you'd like to throw your head into the conversation and make a case that it should be your city, go for it. But it's not only geography that we need to concentrate on. We need to keep our senior clinicians interested and involved with Nefesh in an active way. You tell me that you like to be here for yourselves, but we also need you to be here as role models for others. Drs. Hindi Klein and Aviva Bieberfeld, also board members, have graciously accepted the responsibility of concentrating on programming for those of us in the field for more than 20 years. We have an equal need and responsibility to our students, our new grads, and to the many in between. Finally, and by no means lastly, we owe a huge amount of gratitude to our founding fathers, Dr. Sholem Feinberg and Barry Holzer. They started Nefesh International 20 years ago. Without their vision and energy to create something new, we would not be sitting here today, and us in Solomon would have no friends. Conferences like this take a long time to create, and that's why we already started planning next year's conference yesterday. We can only do that, though, with really smart, dedicated conference chairs. Lisa and Chaim, over the top, they did it again. Along with Karen Feinberg heading the steering committee, Connie Kwan overseeing the office, and Alice Tusk's organizational capabilities. You have all, once again, fueled us with the fortitude to move ahead.